Hello and welcome to Life Less Ordinary. This afternoon what my plan is to do is to plant out my sunflowers and my zinnias and my snapdragons. I've got an area out the front, one side of the fruit trees that are espaliered along the driveway. There I've got dahlias planted in 2 rows. On the opposite side of those trees is where my plan is to do rows of zinnias and snapdragons, so that I have all these flowers that will be used for cut flowers. So that's the plan. Out the front I've got lots and lots of wood chip, and it's been down for a good number of years. The underside of it has been breaking down over time. The top layer is still intact as wood chip. So for each of the zinnia or snapdragon plants that I'm going to plant, I'm also going to use some of this Curly's compost into the hole. I'm trying this, something new. There's been lots of good reviews of it on some of the groups that I'm on, so I'm going to give that a go and see how that goes with those flowers. So let's get into it. So we are out the front, and this is the area that I'm wanting to plant these zinnias in. So this here is my zinnias and the Curly's compost. On this side over here, on the other side of these fruit trees, there are some dahlias coming up there. So we'll have 2 rows of dahlias there, and then I'm hoping that we'll have lots of flowers on this side with the zinnias that I've got here. But one of the benefits to coming out at this time of the evening, probably about an hour or so away from sunset, but you've got the birds making their noises, but you also get to have a good squiz at what's growing in the garden. So this is a Stella, I was going to say a Stella cherry, but it's not. It's a plum that I planted last year. So it's not a lot of fruit, and it's not a very big tree, but we've got fruit coming off it. What are you doing there, Trin? You filled it? Okay. Do you want to water the cosmos for me? Sounds funny, water the cosmos. In here, this is another plum. I'm just seeing if, yep, there's lots of fruit in this as well. So I really should get onto this before it gets dark. So zinnias are a shrub, an annual shrub, and they do grow quite big, so they can be up to 1 metre tall, and then you've got the flowers on it. So I am going to plant these about 50 centimetres apart, but what I've also got is some sticks out the back that I'm going to put sort of along the row, and then run twine along just to keep it contained within here, because they do get quite heavy with flowers. So we want them to grow up rather than out and end up all over the place. So that's what I'll be planting them about every 50 centimetres apart. Now I have far too many here. I'm not going to need this many, but these are my favourite, the Queen Red Lime. So I have planted up lots of those, but then that also means that any that I don't get planted out here, I can put a couple down the back, 1 or 2, and then I can give the rest away to friends. So what I'm doing here is I'm just digging little holes about every 50 centimetres. I've done them here, 2 rows, and that'll be enough to put about 3 handfuls of the compost in there and the plant in there, and then I'll water it, and that's how that will happen. If you have a look, as I dig down here, you can see that this is actually breaking down quite well underneath. Again, I'm a very huge proponent of the wood chip and how it can actually be quite beneficial to your garden. So I've just had Trinity count how many holes. How many holes did you say we had, Trin?
13.
I think it might have been more than that. 23.
23. Close enough.
23. So I'm just putting 3, maybe 4 handfuls in each of these holes. And then once I've done that, I'll go through and I'll put my seedlings in. So I know that these seedlings have grown well as we have roots coming out the other side. It's always a nice thing to see. So once I've got these all put in, I'll actually get some sugarcane mulch and put that on top of the soil there, as well as another form of mulching, keeping it moist. I think I've said in other videos we are expected to have quite a hot summer, so I am going to have to keep the water up to these. So wondering now about the wisdom of planting them out the front, because I don't actually, even though I do have this drip system here, it's not connected at the moment, and the drip system will only water along the fruit tree line. So I'll have to hand water a lot more. So I've just called in reinforcements because I've realised the time. So Salome is going to go behind where I have planted some already out. I think I'm getting bitten by an ant. If you can put some handfuls of that on top of that, and then Trinity, if you want to grab the hose, and if you want to hose for 20 seconds for each plant, but make sure it's not too hard because we don't want to ruin the seedling. That would be fantastic. No, you're pulling it up, yep. Okay, so hang on, how are you going to tell whether it's too hard? So turn it on a little way. Yep. Excellent, yep. How much do you have to count up to? 20. 20 for each plant. Fantastic. So we're almost finished. We've planted them all in there, and Trinity's counting and watching the birds up in the tree. Up. There are, look at that. So what I have left to do is put the supports around, sort of in a square, or actually a rectangle all the way along, so that there's string along this side and string along that side, and maybe a row actually in between, and that will just help to support it as it continues to grow. But I was actually thinking, because we've had some issues with Salome's sunflowers over there, I think we planted about 20 and there's probably maybe about 8 or 10 left, and it appears that something's been eating it. We do have some baits down, some beer baits down, so they're just beer bottles that we've kind of quarter filled with some beer, and that means that the slugs and snails go to their rest a little bit happy. So I will need to put some of those down here as well, just to protect these. But we are also having a decent issue with rabbits, both here and out the front. So I can't believe I'm going to say this. I wish the foxes were around and we wouldn't have such an issue with rabbits. But anyway, so that has been our pleasant evening planting out the zinnias. I'll keep you appraised of our progress with that. You done, Trin? Yep, dusting hands off, all done. So thank you for joining us.
Oh, there's a plane up there.
Oh, there's a plane as well, is there? Oh yes, there is, all the way up there. Anyway, thank you for joining us as we live our life less ordinary.